My dear people, at the start of this broadcast, I reminded all and sundry that today is the 21st of April, and that on the 21st of April, 1961, several independent countries in the world, members of the United Nations General Assembly, came together and in a vote decided that the Southern Cameroons would be independent and voted for the independence of the Southern Cameroons. But then something happened. And that is why I started with this quote. So the function of social systems is not to promote truth, but to preserve established power structures. So you see what happened is that after that vote was taken, we are still today fighting to protect that vote. We are still today fighting to protect that vote. But those who sat together and voted of their free will for our independence, they are looking the other way. Some are making as if it did not even happen. Chief among them, the United Kingdom, the country that was given a mandate to prepare the people of the Southern Cameroons for independence. While France finally granted La République du Cameroun independence, even if it were paper independence, on the 1st of January 1960, the British, who were to perform the same duty on the 1st of October 1961, because when the independence of the Southern Cameroons was decided in the United Nations General Assembly, an assembly or session at which quite some members, permanent members of the UN Security Council, voted for the independence of the Southern Cameroons. The British had a different idea. That is why, my people, you see that when La République du Cameroun was celebrating the golden anniversary of its independence, 50 years of its independence, the Secretary General of the United Nations sent a present, sent a gift to the President of La République du Cameroun. This gift was a reflection of the vote of the 21st of April, 1961. That's why you see there the UN envoys to Yaoundé in 2010 presenting to Mr. Paul Biya as gift two maps. You can see the map the gentleman has in his hands, a small map. That is the map of the former UN Trust territory of British Southern Cameroons. And the other map standing, that is the map of La République du Cameroun without the Southern Cameroons. This picture is an entire encyclopedia. It tells the entire story of the Southern Cameroons and La République du Cameroun. We are two peoples with two destinies and we are clearly divisible because we were never one. Even in the archives of the United Nations, they know we were never one. From the moment of the formation of nation states, the Southern Cameroons and La République du Cameroun have never been one country. That's why you have those two clear, distinct maps. One of La République du Cameroun, the other of the Southern Cameroons, carefully framed and presented to Paul Biya. The message could not have been clearer. When the Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, showed up in Cameroon, Paul Biya presented him with a gold status. With a gold statue, I beg your pardon, the gold statue. With a gold statue. Sorry about that mix up. Paul Biya presented him with a gold statue as a gift. Why did the United Nations not gift Paul Biya on the event of the celebration of 50 years of the independence of La République du Cameroon some golden structure or some beautiful gift or whatsoever? But they chose to present Biya on that occasion with these two maps. That was a clear message. Clear message that yes, we want to acknowledge that what you are celebrating today is 50 years of independence of the other country which is on the bigger map. This other map that is in hand here, representing the Southern Cameroons, was not part of that territory. This is clear. I didn't fabricate this. Nobody will say this is Photoshop. At least George Ewane Ngide, who was a reporter at the presidency of the Republic for CITV at the time, even ended up with a query because he said in his report that one of the maps represented the Southern Cameroons and the other map represented La République du Cameroun. Because he used this expression in that report, of course, they had to hit on his knuckles. Because La République du Cameroun, with the assistance of our so-called elite and intellectuals, has for the longest time worked so hard to distort our history, to give the impression to the people of the Southern Cameroons that we were part of their territory that went away and they have simply recovered it. My dear people of Ambazonia, this picture you see here was a reminder to Paul Biya, to France, to the United Kingdom, and to the rest of the world that the Southern Cameroons is an entity, that the people of the Southern Cameroons are a people and recognized as such under international law. It was a tacit reminder to La République du Cameroon that this country that we see on this map is missing. Where is it? It's like a question. Because today you hear of La République du Cameroon. What happened to Southern Cameroons? For those who might have forgotten, on the 1st of April 1961, a country was born known as La République du Cameroun. And it became independent on that same day, 1st of January 1961. And then, on the 1st of October, that La République du Cameroun was 1st of January 1960, I beg your pardon. And then, on the 1st of October 1961, another country was about to be born. It was born, known as the Southern Cameroons. Was actually born, known as the Southern Cameroons, the Republic of Southern Cameroons. Now, something happened. The British, who were supposed to hand everything over to the people of the Southern Cameroons, simply walked out. La République du Cameroon marched in fulfillment of a plebiscite that happened earlier on the 11th of February, which was supposed to lead to the signing of a treaty of union between the two entities, but it forcibly came in, and on that day rather, after the Southern Cameroon was born, minutes after, a new country, forced on us by the Republic of Cameroon, was born, known as the Federal Republic of Cameroon. The Federal Republic of Cameroon was made up of two states, two independent states, two, which became federated states under the Federal Republic of Cameroon. You had one, the Republic of Cameroon, which in this new arrangement became the federated state of East Cameroon. So there ceased to exist any country known as La République du Cameroun, or known as the Republic of Cameroon. It ceased to exist on the 1st of October 1961. And then the Southern Cameroons, that was just born, also ceased to exist as the Southern Cameroons and became the federated state of West Cameroon. And these two entities have formed what became known as the Federal Republic of Cameroon, with two independent states, two federated states, equal in status. Equal in status. Keyword, equal in status. But by the time La République du Cameroon is celebrating 50 years of its independence, in 2010, they are called La République du Cameroon. Because along the line, there was some quasi referendum and order organized in 1972, say they wanted to readjust the form of the state because it was so costly and all whatnot. And they used the population of La République du Cameroon intimidation to force a result on our people and turn to the United Republic of Cameroon. The flag still had 2 stars. But of course, in 1984, Mr. Paul Biya seceded from the Union by presidential decree and decreed that La République du Cameroon that disappeared on 1st of October 1961 to become the federated state of East Cameroon within the confines of a new country known as the Federal Republic of Cameroon had seceded from the Union because he reinstated the name of his country and it came back to be known as La République du Cameroun. What happened to Southern Cameroons then? From that moment, they told the people of the Southern Cameroons, you are now swallowed into our country. You are now part of our country. You are now northwest, southwest of Cameroon. There has never been any such thing as northwest, southwest of Cameroon. That is why anyone reaches out to me and writes that thing, the restive northwest and southwest of Cameroon. No, that is wrong. That is fake journalism. You know the truth. There has never been any such thing as northwest and southwest of Cameroon. No. This is the Southern Cameroons that became known at some point as the federated state of West Cameroon. And when La République du Cameroon seceded from the Union in 1984, later on 1989, and then 1992, Fongoji Dinka filed a lawsuit at the Nizam High Court in Bamenda, indicating that La République du Cameroon has seceded from the Union. Although we know there was no Union treaty and there therefore was even no Union, but the two entities were already together in a quasi-oral arrangement or verbal arrangement. But La République du Cameroon, by that decree signed by Paul Biya in 1984, has seceded from the Union, meaning the Southern Cameroons too should go its separate way. Paul Biya was summoned to appear in court, or to send representatives for that matter, that he refused to send. The late Justice Fombe and other justices handled this matter. And at the end of the day, they ruled, the Nizam High Court ruled that La République du Cameroon had effectively seceded from the Union and charged Fongoji Dinka to restore the independence of the Southern Cameroons because La République du Cameroon has seceded from the Union. Therefore, allowing the people of the Southern Cameroons to return to their original self. But La République du Cameroon now said, lie to lie, we have decided to annex you. This is why we are fighting to this day. And you see, this whole thing came about because on February 11, 1961, a plebiscite was organized. And this was engineered by the British and the French. Ooh, the British said the people of the Southern Cameroons do not have enough resources to be on their own. If they are allowed to be independent by themselves, they will depend so much on the British taxpayers' purse for assistance to development. For that reason, they need to be forced somewhere because the British wanted us to vote to either join and to have independence by joining with Nigeria or with La République du Cameroon. And that is how they forced our people into some kind of evil experiment. So it is no coincidence that after the plebiscite on February 11, 1961, at which a majority of the people of the Southern Cameroons expressed the desire that upon achieving independence, they would join with La République du Cameroon. The United Nations still found it important to go ahead and hold an independence vote for the Southern Cameroons on April 21, 1961. Don't forget, the plebiscite was in February, but this independence vote was in April. That's after the plebiscite. Why did the people at the United Nations not just say, okay, since they've already voted in a plebiscite to join the Republic du Cameroon, there is no need for an independence vote, they just disappear inside the Republic du Cameroon? No! They knew we were a separate entity. We had to be first independent because they expected us upon achieving our independence to enter into a union treaty with the Republic du Cameroon, because only independent countries can sign an international treaty. Only independent countries can enter into a union treaty with another independent country. That's why they took that extraordinary step. And in opposition to those kind of things, you heard Dag Hammarskjöld, who was the then UN Secretary General from 1953 to 1961. He said, uniting the Southern Cameroons to the Cameroon Republic is like forcing a balloon under the sea. One day it will come out. What did he say? One day it will come out. I call him Prophet Dag Hammarskjöld. Said one day it will come out. Said uniting the Southern Cameroons to the Cameroon Republic is like forcing a balloon under the sea. One day it will come out. Where are we today? He was not the only one that expressed such an opinion. You also had the UN ambassador to the United Nations at the time. This is what he said. This Clement J. Zablowski. He said, the United States congratulates the people of the Southern Cameroons for their accession to autodetermination, as it constitutes the will of the population who wants to run its affairs democratically. Did you hear that? And he insists. He said the result of a hurried choice imposed on the population of the Trust Territory would be catastrophic for their political future. Nothing has changed. This is exactly what is happening today. Listen, Zablowski did not say this from the blues. We were a democratic nation. The Southern Cameroons, we were the first functional democracy in Africa south of the Sahara. The first functional democracy, where a sitting government, an incumbent government, organized an election and lost and handed over to the opposition. Democratically. The politicians stood on the same soapbox and campaigned, gave their various opinions, attacked each other's policies, not personalities, attacked each other's policies. And when they finished and came down from the soapbox, they embraced each other, shook hands, and walked away to go and continue relaxing with the people. That was the Southern Cameroons. Yes, that was the golden age of the Southern Cameroons that Dr. or Professor Anthony Ndi wrote about in his book. This day was the most determining day, the turning point in the history of the peoples of the Southern Cameroons. This is the day La République du Cameroon wishes had never happened. Because if this day had never happened, La République du Cameroon would not be worried today about going for any internationally mediated settlement. Because they know that going for an internationally mediated peace settlement, this day, the events of this day will come up. And when the events of this day come up, they know legally they have no claim to the territory of the Southern Cameroons. This is the truth. The simple truth. I said here that the role of intellectuals I said here that the role of intellectuals is to challenge authority, not to serve it. The role of the Southern Cameroon's intelligentsia was actually supposed to be to remind La République du Cameroon about this day, about this reality, about this fact. On the contrary, they hurry to television panels to tell you and I that we were never a country, that we don't deserve to be a people, that we have always been part of La République du Cameroon, that we have always been, we were a territory of La République du Cameroon that just went away and they just took it back. I watched them all. The Professor Moles, the all of them, the Ashunientis, all of them. They will go and sit on television panels to spew lies, pure lies, to try and confuse our people. The Ufe Chinjemelos, all of them, they're all there. They'll go there to try and spin sophistry. But these are the facts. I'm talking the facts. This is why Tibor Nagy, a US diplomat, said this. And look at the day he said it. This was November 2024. He said, Southern Cameroons, Ambazonia, bleeding goes on. We have been bleeding always. Caused back to February 11, 1961, when British Southern Cameroon voted to join with French Cameroon, but not expecting to end up as second-class citizens. Ambazonians need a new opportunity to decide their future. My people of Ambazonia. I'm not the only one saying it. The world knows it. The world is aware of it. International actors lift it. International actors read it. They are aware of this. They know this is how it is. These are the facts. They know the facts are not with La République du Cameroon. They know the truth is not with La République du Cameroon. They are aware that the people of the Southern Cameroons are being treated as second-class citizens, or even treated as if we are not humans at all. They know. I'm not inventing this. They are able to tell us what the so-called Southern Cameroon's intelligentsia cannot tell us, cannot say. And I'll remind each and everyone that in January of 2017, Barrister Akeremuna, a real legal luminary, not a pocket lawyer like Ashunienti, a real legal luminary, a venerated and well-recognized international legal expert, couched an article when Paul Biya came out and made a noise after the first ghost count of the 9th of January 2017, came and made a noise that Le Cameroun est un et indivisible. The Cameroon is one and indivisible. And Akeremuna wrote an article, which copy I still have. Cameroon is one and indivisible. Which Cameroon? Which Cameroon? Because of course, Akeremuna contended in that article that if Paul Biya is referring to La République du Cameroun, which is one and indivisible, of course he is very correct. La République du Cameroun is one and indivisible. No one is trying to divide La République du Cameroun. But if he is referring to La République du Cameroun and the Southern Cameroons, he is wrong. And Akeremuna concluded and said, there are two Cameroons. Cameroon is two and divisible. Two Cameroons. La République du Cameroun and the Southern Cameroons. Two and divisible. Two and clearly divisible. My people of Ambazonia, we have lived in slavery too long. We have lived the experience of slavery and servitude too long, that it is time for us to continue to put in all the energy we can to fight for that which we believe in. My dear people of Ambazonia, Albert Ebene, the citizen of La République du Cameroun, the retired police superintendent, who talked about our situations and referring to to the soldiers of Southern Cameroon's extraction fighting in the military of La République du Cameroon. He said, fool me once, I'm not a fool. Fool me twice, I'm a fool. He said the people of the Southern Cameroons cannot continue to endure this forever. That's a citizen of La République du Cameroon talking. I want to close with this thought. Nowadays, people don't defend what is right. They defend who they like and benefit from. I'm saying this, whoever is watching this, copy this and share with Ashunienti, wherever you find him. Nowadays, people don't defend what is right. They defend who they like and benefit from. We as a people, Southern Cameroonians, we will continue to fight. We will continue to stand for our rights. We will continue to defend our homeland. My dear people of Ambazonia, I'd like to take this moment, even as I'm ending this broadcast, to send again a special salute to the foot soldiers of the consortium on the ground for the wonderful job that they are doing in the communities. We are of the civil society. We are not an armed group, but we are doing a great job on the ground, sensitizing the people, building bridges, and making the people to grow to understand the need to continue to be resilient, the need to continue to be determined, the need to continue to remain focused. And we fight as hard as we can to limit civilian casualties on the ground. I want to thank all those who are continuing to support us in one way or the other. It's helping, and it will continue to help. I want to thank all of those who stayed up to be part of this broadcast. Share the link as you've watched. Make sure this broadcast reaches as many people as possible. And I want to thank you always for participating in sharing our discourse, because we have to continue to sensitize our people to make our people continue to stand strong and to continue to defend what we all believe in. Thank you so much. And as always, I will say, to God be the glory.